Well, hello and welcome back to our series Overcoming Obstacles. We're up to session 7. So if you need to do some catch-up work, just hop up on the Facebook feed for videos, or YouTube, or wherever you're seeing this. If you're on our podcast, just hop up to Anchor FM and go back and catch the rest of them. But we're on session 7, and while I'm here, if any of you need a little bit more detail on these, need a little more introspection or a little bit of coaching on any of these, feel free to reach out to me. You can schedule that at a to b for me.info/15. That's 15 if you're just listening on the podcast with Don. So a to b for me.info/15 with Don. And you'll get a calendar page there. And you can set up a time where we can set up a 15-minute complimentary coaching session just to kind of help you get through some of this. Or if you have some other issues you want to talk about, that's fine as well. But there are 4 questions in there when you make that appointment. And be sure and finish that up before we have our scheduled time so that we can be efficient and move through things and make the most of our 15-minute time period together. Well, all right, well, we're going to get rolling today into session 7. So let me kind of back out of here a little bit and be sure that you've got a big old screen to see. And we're going to hop into our 8 proven strategies today that help you get through hopeless situations. And we all come across these times where it just feels like, my goodness gracious, how am I going to get through this? And so we want to talk about some proven strategies to help you do that. And if you were with us last week on session 6, again, this is a 20 session series, so we're going to be on this for a while because it's just a very, very important part of keeping you on track, because obstacles just seem to be getting in the way all the time. Whatever else, doggone obstacles are in the way all the time, and we want to be sure that you're equipped to have the tools to get by them easily and efficiently. But in the previous session, we provided ideas for increasing the level of creativity you demonstrate in your life. And, creative is tough sometimes because the timing just isn't there. But that creativity can be useful when it seems like the whole world's conspiring against you. And I know sometimes it really does feel that way. Even when you're, at the coaching level, you feel like, my goodness gracious, the stars are just not aligning. But this session, we're going to delve into the strategies you can apply when all hope appears to be lost. When you're just dazed and confused, deer in headlight look, and just don't know what is going on. So, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's get this thing going for you. All right. Well, whether it's the end of a relationship, which I see a lot when we're in some of our counseling sessions and coaching sessions, or the inevitable foreclosure of a home, or some circumstances, they're just simply beyond saving. When things are just at the end of the rope, and there is no way of turning this around, you just have to let them run their course, because some situations that's just what has to happen, and other plans need to be made. But hopeless events don't exclude the possibility of better days ahead, and everything. I say everything happens for a reason. Some people contradict that and argue with me about that, but I do sincerely believe that. But life happens. It just does. Now, some people may have another 4-letter word for life. And so now what? Well, if you're in a hopeless situation, letting go, learning from that situation, and moving on can be a great solution. And in most of the time, it's the best solution. So just remember, when you're out there thinking, "Oh, woe is me," I always think about the book of Isaiah in the Bible, because I call it the woe is me chapter. But so many times you get in there and you're just like, oh man, the world is just coming down on me. Well, that's just life, people. Life happens. So let's just move forward. from that. So we're going to try these 8 strategies when it appears, that all is lost. We want to get you from A to B, and we've got 8 little strategies here that we're going to help you get there. All right. Well, let's look at number 1. There's old Elsa from Frozen. Now, some of you, we're doing this kind of at the tail end of some COVID stuff, and you guys have had the kids at home for all these months, and you're thinking, oh, no, I don't want to hear anything else about Frozen because you've been watching it ad nauseum. But yeah, like Elsa says, just let it go. If the outcome is inevitable, does obsessing over it ever really help? I mean, if you're going to sit there and whine and mine and groan and all stuff about it, is it ever really help anything? This might feel like giving up, but it's how intelligent is it to continue with something that can't possibly be won? And there's a fine line between persistence, and insanity, and and sometimes they kind of commingle. But sometimes, folks, if it's inevitable, just quit obsessing over it. It's just not intelligent to keep going on, so just let it go. And that's just a huge part of personal growth. It's just being able to sit up and say, hey, this just isn't going to happen. It's not the end of my world, so I'm just going to let it go. So a key one here is our first one from Elsa, let it go. And number 2, well, let's go back into this a little bit further because I wanted to throw in probably one of my favorite songs by the Eagles called "Get Over It," and it's the bottom line is just make the decision to let go and get on with your life. And I love the lyrics in this song by the Eagles where it says, "You drag it around like a ball and chain, you wallow in the guilt, you wallow in the pain. You wave it like a flag, you wear it like a crown, get your mind in the gutter, bringing everybody down. Complain about the present and blame it on the past. I'd like to find your inner child and kick its little ass. Get over it, get over it. All this bitching and moaning and pitching a fit, get over it, get over it." All right, you guys get the message yet? Let's move on. Let's just let it happen. Let's just put it in the past. Let's learn what we can from it and move on. Number 2, we got to purge your emotions from the situation. Hopefully, you already know several healthy ways to make yourself feel better in these situations. Perhaps you feel better after a long exercise session. I know a lot of times when you just get in there and you just let the body do its work and let the mind release, and you come out of there and you just feel like, I did something. I can do something right again, right? And that's really part of it here is, I am okay. I still have my body. I still have things. But other people, you just need a good cry. You just got to let it out. I'm talking to you guys too. You guys cry. You might not want anybody to know it, but you do. So just find yourself a place and get yourself a good cry. Or maybe it's having dinner with a friend. Maybe that'll boost your spirit. Now we don't want to. We're going to talk about pity party a little bit later. You don't want to make it a big old pity party. You certainly don't want to bring down your friends because people don't. If you're going to be the negative Nancy in the room all the time or the negative Ned, you certainly people aren't going to want to be around you. So go in there positively and enjoy that. Camaraderie and that friendship. Maybe it's having a dinner with a friend, but whatever it is, make it a healthy solution. That's the key to it. Drinking, drugs, spending money irresponsibly are just a few examples of unhealthy alternatives, because you're going to look back and you're going to say, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have done that. That's just and you're just adding to the problem. So you want a healthy life and you want to find solutions that are going to be healthy. And drinking and drugging and just spending money on stupid things, it's just really not going to help you out. So please, please, please choose your alternatives wisely and make sure that you're just not adding more regret to your situation. Number 3, and this kind of went in this a little bit earlier, but you got to try to learn something. Look at the fail acronym as first attempt in learning. You went out there and you tried, right? In most cases, in most hopeless situations at least, They're partially due to poor decisions. It was just you didn't research it enough. You didn't let it wait it out. You weren't patient enough. So think about in that situation how you contributed to the situation at hand. Now, yeah, we let it go, and we just don't continue it. But you also want to reflect and on what happened, because after reflect is plan, and then plan is execute. So how are you going to plan and execute if you don't know and don't realize what happened in the first instance? So be sure and try and learn something. That's what failing is all about. It's just education. It is not permanent. So just try and learn something from the situation. For instance, did you ignore warning signs when you first started dating your partner? I mean, were there some things that you knew just weren't right, and you just chose to ignore them? Well, I really that's not so bad, but you weren't willing to address these things, and that comes into play in a lot of cases, especially in relationships. Is you're not being honest, you're not addressing things because you don't want to know the answer to those questions deep down, but you need to know those answers to the questions because they're not going away. Did you take out a larger mortgage than you could afford? This is the keeping up with the Joneses mentality, right? Well, I want to make my everybody needs to know that I'm successful. Well, if you're taking out something you can't afford, that's not being successful. That's just being an idiot. So, I just got to play the cards like they are, right? So, I mean, if you took a larger mortgage than you can afford, then you're gonna have to deal with that. You're going to get out there and you're going to figure out a way to supplement that income and make some more money, or you just need to say, hey, let me back out of this one. Let's get into something we can afford and let's start over. And some of that might started in that the warning signs when you first started dating, right? You're dating someone that really, really likes to spend it and likes to show off and likes to do things, and you're probably the diopposed opposite in most relationships. There's a yin and a yang, and but you went along with it, and now you bought off on more than you can chew through a big old house and big cars and all these types of things. But it's common to repeat our mistakes. We just do. We're creatures of habit, and we get into the habit, good or bad, right? A habit can be good, a habit can be bad. So it's just common to repeat our mistakes. But what can you learn to avoid a repeat performance in the future? So you have to just look at these things, and you have to understand yourself, and you've got to let the subconscious know that you are investigating this and that you do not want this to happen again in the future. So imagine how great your life would be if you only made each mistake once. Boy, wouldn't that be incredible? And we think about it, but how dumb it is to just walk into a wall, take 3 steps back and walk into the wall again, then take 3 steps back and walk to the same damn wall again. But we do it all the time in our lives. We just keep making the same mistakes. So figure out a way not to do this. And you may need to do some coaching to do this. May need some psychotherapy. Might be deeper than just personal development coaching. It may be psychological and need some things there. But take a look at it, and let's just don't ignore the warning signs. They're there for a reason. Your subconscious is there. The Holy Spirit is there to help you and say, hey, no, stop, wait a minute, think about this. So don't ignore those warning signs. Number 4, if you into a horrible situation, life is just spiraling out of control. Hey, bottom line, you got to enjoy yourself. It's just a perfect time to visit a favorite restaurant or take a walk in the park, see a movie with a friend, something. But just break that negative habit, break that negative train of thought, break all those negative ions in your body, because just because life is throwing you a curveball, it doesn't mean you can't have a good time. Now you say, well, God, doggone, I lost all my money. Well, have your friend take you to a movie. I don't know what you got to do, but walk in the park is cheap. It doesn't cost a lot, but enjoy yourself. You got to have a good laugh, and you got to forge ahead. And that, life is about enjoying. yourself. It really is. It's not talking about going out there and spending every damn dime you got to keep up with people and do all these things you can't afford, go on these expensive vacations and then just be in hell the rest of the year. But just there's simple things in life, simple pleasures. So just enjoy yourself. Have a good laugh, forge ahead. It's just again, it's just a blip in the radar. When you go back years from now, and you'll look at this situation and go, wow, that really wasn't that big of a deal. And I can't believe I got all bent out of shape over that. So, or you'll see the resolution came later, the reason for your situation. So, above all, just enjoy yourself. Keep that attitude up, and let's move on. Uh, Number 5, you got to keep up with your responsibilities. Do not get catatonic on us. And I spell responsibility a little bit differently than it is up there in the dictionary. On the right-hand side, if you can't see it because you're on the podcast, I've got 2 words, response and ability. You've got to have the ability to respond properly. And I've put my favorite equation up here, E plus R equals O, and for those that A to B for me, you know exactly what that is. But E is an event, and that's what we're talking about here. An event happened to you. Something happened. And so E plus R is your response. And the event plus response equals the outcome. So it really isn't the event itself that determines the outcome. It is the addition of your response, your positive response or your negative response. And based on the covalence of that, whether it's positive or negative, that's really what your outcome is going to be. So, but the bottom line, you've got to keep up with your responsibilities. You can't just assume, just put your head ostrich like a head in the sand or your head under the pillow, whatever. I mean, your children are still there for you if you have children. They still need your love and attention. Your loved ones, they still need you. If you got a dog, your dog still needs to be fed, walked, watered, whatever it is. The bills still have to be paid. So just get out there and figure out a way to make it happen. If you're in the financial straits, then you're going to have to step up and call these people and say, look, I'm having some situations here and I need your help. So, I mean, just sitting there and hope is not a strategy. We're going to talk about hope a little bit later, but hope is not a strategy. You've got to get out there and you got to have a plan. So if you're behind on your bills, make some calls, get some help, get this thing straightened out for yourself, and take that pressure off yourself. I'm not a real advocate of bankruptcy, but sometimes a lot of attorneys will tell you that that's just the only way you got to go. It's a legal remedy for you, and I've been told that once you make that decision and make it happen, the weight of the world goes off of you, and you're able to start out again. So maybe that's an option for you, but avoid letting the other areas of your life suffer. We have different goal areas. I've got, a lot of people, they put financial and career together. I do not put financial and career together. They're totally separate. My financial life is simply there to help make my life bearable in some cases, but really exciting and make it stable. Career, I want to do something that I enjoy. And a lot of you have locked those two together and feel like, how could I be in this nasty old job because it makes me all kinds of money? Well, figure out a way to make money for your family and get your finances straight, and then you can do what you love to do. So don't put those together. Don't let if your financial situation's in a bad strait, then don't let your career be affected. Don't let your family life, your mental situations go bad, your social. Don't let your physical, that's a big one. A lot of folks, you just cause yourself physical harm when the mental and all the world starts crashing around you, and spiritual. Just don't let the other areas suffer. Just whatever one area it is, let's look at that. Say get some coaching. If it has to be psychiatric, get that as well. But get the help you need. But by all means, you got to keep up with your responsibilities. Just don't let the whole world go to hell in a handbasket on you. All right, number 6, create a plan for the future. In other words, what's the plan, Stan? Looking forward to an interesting, exciting future, may be the best way to move forward. You just got to sit down and look at it. If the future seems bleak, it's hard to be happy. So if you sit here and just say, oh, well, that's it. I got knocked down and I just can't get up. I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, no. That's what we're here for, and that's what we try and help you do as well. Is help you realize that, hey, this is just a thing, and there are going to be many things. It's back to life, right? It just happened. So let's look forward to an interesting, exciting future. Let's get some plans out there. What can we do? What are we gonna do? And hopefully, if you had those plans in the first place, you had all the things laid out, your purpose, your personal mission statement, your whys, your goals, all these things out there. This blip probably wouldn't have happened in the first place because you'd realize, and through proper planning, you told your subconscious, this may happen or this may happen, and if this happens, we're going to do this, and you would have had a plan, and you wouldn't be in this mental strait right now of trying to figure out what in the world to do. So maybe you just didn't have this plan in the first place. Your plan should have been in place originally anyway, and that's probably where your first step of going in the wrong direction. You just didn't have a plan. But allow yourself to be open to the possibilities and create a compelling future for yourself. Maybe the road you were going down wasn't your destiny. You were just going down the wrong road. You were doing something someone else wanted you to do, or what you thought someone else wanted you to do, and you need to take control of it. And to do that, you've got to take one small step towards making that future reality. So just start building the crane, start getting your materials together, right, and just plan for your future. Just get it over. It's no big deal, especially these days. My goodness gracious. You can go from, if rags to riches is what you're looking for, you can do that. I tell you, in a heartbeat these days. There's just so many ways that you can go out, and if it's just finance that you're worried about, if it's love you're worried about, how many people are there in the world? I think that one that just messed up, that ain't the only one in the world. So go find you another one. There's one out there for you. Again, if it's mental, you got people out there wanting to help you. If it's spiritual, dadgum, just dig into it. It's all in the Bible. Just go after it, whatever it is. Get your higher source, figure it out. If it's physical, hit the damn gym. Quit eating nasty food. There's ways around these things, and the first step is the big deal. So one small step at a time, and let's make your future a reality here. Number 7, let's make a list of things that fill you with gratitude. So we talk about this at A to B in our Phoenix Journal every morning. We've got a line that says, I'm grateful for every day. And what are you grateful for? A roof over my head, friends and family, food and water, internet access, my health, a warm home, music. It doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering. And sometimes for me, it's the same thing sometimes every day. But what are you grateful for? You can find things every day, but I always, look for those things during the day and write them down just to remind yourself, because it's likely there are many people in the world with far more challenging circumstances than you. I guarantee you there are people out there right now without a roof over their head. There are some people out there void of friends and family. There are people out there in this world that don't have enough food and water, and there's a hell of a lot of people who don't have internet access. People with bad health. People don't have access to really any kind of music in their life to uplift them. So all these things that you write down, you just need to understand that there are people out there that have more challenging circumstances, and it can be really easy to forget that. Until you go in on a daily basis and say, okay, well, what am I grateful for? And that's a daily exercise that you should be doing, because I'm calling it the anti-pity party move. No pity parties allowed at A to B for me. If you think about it, you have a lot of things going for you, so make a list and add to it often. It's just a running tally, but if you keep a journal, just go back and review, and you'll see all the great things that are happening in your life. But if you need one of these anti-pity party buttons, just reach out to me. We'll get you one. But we don't have pity parties here at A to B for me. All right. Enough said, right? Number 8, let's remember some other situations in your life that seemed hopeless. And hey, you made it through those, right? So yes, let's lift a glass of champagne to you and say you made it, right? Odds are you survived, right? Because you're here listening to me today and ultimately came out on the other side more resilient and knowledgeable. So you made it through. You might have got beat up a little bit, but just like Rocky, you got up and yelled Adrian, and you're ready to roll, right? So, and you learned more. You learned something. So that's the key, and that's what success is all about. It's just a bunch of successive moves in the correct direction. And you learn from each one of those moves. When you realize you're on shaky ground, well, you just go down the other path, right? But just remember that you had other situations in your life, and sometimes you just need to go back and think about these, and remember, hey, I thought that was the end of the world too, and it wasn't. So just keep on keeping on, and remember that those other things seemed hopeless, but you made it through. All right. Well, hopeless situations happen, and so the bottom line is that not every situation is salvageable. And we talked about that, so we're just kind of reviewing here. Letting go and moving forward can be the best solution. Talk about that. Again, Elsa, just let it go. Let it go. Worrying has never changed the actual outcome of any situation. I mean, you can sit there and fret, worry, cry, beat a hole in the wall, whatever it is, and all you're going to get out of it is you got to buy more tissues, you got to repair the sheetrock in the wall, and you probably got to get everybody that's been around you that's left to come back because you done wore them out. But allow yourself to enjoy life and create a future that keeps your eyes facing forward. Because what's our line here at A to B for me? Keep moving in the direction of your dreams. You got to allow yourself to do that. So just remember, life happens and hopeless situations happen. You're not the only one. Trust me. All right. Well, looking forward, next time we're going to learn how to foster belief in yourself regardless of your current circumstances. So different ways. Sometimes your belief systems really get out of kilter. Your subconscious takes over and it says, "Oh Lord, man, we got the Eeyore syndrome. Woe is me. I can't do that. I wish I could. Look at those successful people. I can't be like them." And we're going to talk about how to foster belief in yourself. So we're going to pump that up. And some of you might be looking at this and saying, "Well, I really hadn't had any of these situations." Well, one of your jobs, one of your purposes in life, whether you realize it or have it written down, is to help other people and help them get through these situations. So hopefully, if you didn't need these, and I hope that you didn't, I hope that you're on top of things. But if you didn't, there's probably somebody in your life or that you're going to come in contact with that may need some of these tips. So pay attention. Okay, before we get to the fostering belief in yourself situation, we got some to-dos. We always do. So here's what you need to do today. And this one's kind of special because what I want you to do is read about the life and times of Holocaust survivor and author Ellie Wiesel. Now, Ellie Wiesel was again a Holocaust survivor, and that's him right next to the wood structure in there in the Buchenwald concentration camp, and that was taken in April 16, 1945, 5 days after the liberation of the camp. So I want you to read about the life and times of him. So go up, just Google Ellie Wiesel, and you'll get a. And for you listening, it's ELIEWIESEL. Or if you want to go up to YouTube, there's a Ellie Wiesel A Life, and it's like a 6 or 7 minute video. But it'll give you some insight into his life. And I think it's just really important as an anti-pity party situation to realize what some of these folks went through. And regardless of your situation now, of your thoughts or whatever it is of these things, you just need to understand and see where Ellie was and what Ellie eventually did, which ended up with a Nobel Prize. But it's pretty cool. Kind of let the cat out of the bag. But go back and research this. I think that you'll probably have some tears. But it will definitely release some of your fears. So let's trade tears for fears, and let's get you on the right direction. All right, let's talk about hope a little bit. Your situation has more hope than you believe. Again, like I said, hope is not a strategy, but it is an inspiration sometimes. But there is hope. So even on a rainy day, you can just get that circle on your window and let yourself know that yes, there is hope, because there is more hope out there for you. And if you need, again, more help with this, reach out to me at A to B for me. Happy to work with you on a strategy to get you rolling and going here. All right. Well, what we've got now, a couple of affirmations that we did last week as well, and some self-reflection questions. Now, these originally were going to be for A to B for me members, but we want to certainly some of our coaching members. We wanted to lay them out here for everybody, so that you could take these into your program and maybe start working on these throughout the week. And we got a couple this week. The first one is, "I rise from darkness like the blooming flowers of nature." And I've got these on PDF for you. But if you want it and you're not in our group, if you're in our group, they're in the resources section on our page. If you're not in the group, you can reach out to me, and I'll be happy to get you a PDF of this. But I rise from darkness like the blooming flowers of nature. And here's your affirmation. Again, you can either come back and copy these down. You can record this. I would record it because, again, visual and auditory is huge when we're talking to our subconscious. And I would do these affirmations if you need these particular situations, morning, noon, and night. I would get them in your brain and get them in there, but definitely get them first thing in the morning and before you go to bed at night. I accept that dark days are a part of life. I know that true triumph and happiness only come after experiencing some of life's harshest trials. These trials serve to strengthen me and mold me. They serve to make me a better person who understands the value of perseverance. I admit that my dark days sometimes consume me. I sometimes feel hopeless, as if I am at the worst point in my life. But it never lasts forever. Just as plants die at the end of one season and bloom again in all their splendor at the beginning of the next, so do I move from darkness to light. I am accepting of the fact that it is only through the existence of dark days that I truly know what bright days feel like. While I prefer not to experience darkness, I am reassured that it must come to an end, and when it does, things only get better from there. Dark days and rough times are learning experiences for me. My will, conviction, and purpose are all strengthened when I make it out of a rough time in my life. I know such a situation cannot have the same impact on me ever again. Today, I approach life's challenges and hard times head on, knowing that they can only make me stronger. I avoid darkness like a plague, but embrace it as an opportunity to show my resolve when it comes my way. And I hope you can see how powerful that would be for you to get deep rooted into your subconscious on a daily basis if you're having some situations. And here's some self-reflection questions for you based on this affirmation. How long do I allow myself to feel down and depressed? And these are also good coaching questions we'll go over for some of you in the program. Let's talk about this. How long do you allow yourself to feel down and depressed? And of what value can my triumphs through adversity be to those I have influence over? We talked about helping others. So, what value can your triumphs have over these? I've kind of given you some answers here, but this is your self reflection, not mine. And number three, do I look for the positives in a negative situation? In other words, do I look for the learning opportunities in a negative situation? So this is I really like this reflection in this affirmation. I rise from darkness like the blooming flowers of nature. All right, and our second one for today is I defy the odds. There are very few obstacles that stand in my way forever. I always find a way to come out on top. I am a go-getter and a self-driven individual. Daunting challenges look like mountains that I'm equipped to climb because I believe in myself. My history precedes me and reminds me that I am capable of so much. There are times when I am emotionally drained, but I prevail and restore my peace of mind. Renewal is possible because I make it a conscious goal each day. When I am counted out in competition, I avoid feeling discouraged. Doubters inspire me to push myself even more. Coming from a background of sacrifice makes me even more focused on achieving positive outcomes in life. I know that I have the ability to work my way to a higher quality of life. I place little expectations on others to pull me out of my situation and into the light. My motivation comes from deep within my soul. Being faced with a disappointment means that I have another chance to pursue the goal. I take each opportunity with humility and commit to giving it my all. Today, my drive and determination keep me focused on overcoming tough times. Being a success story is dependent on my ability to step past the challenges and learn from my experiences. All right, here's some self-reflection questions for this one. How do I encourage myself when I find the odds are stacked against me? How do I know when it's time to step away from a challenge? Right? Let it go. Let it go. How does being victorious impact my character? So now we're getting into core values when we start talking about character. Remember, it's thoughts, habits, actions, and then character. And your character really embodies all those core values that we talk about in your life purpose. So how does being victorious impact that character? Well, all right. Well, that is it for our affirmations for the day. So we're going to move on. Again, if you need those, reach out to us. Maybe you just want to. So I've been told I'll just listen to you. Well, you can certainly do that. just pop these things out. Just get your phone there and record it, and then you can listen to the affirmations from a different voice. But thanks for attending. And as always, I want you to have an awesome week, and I want you to keep moving in the direction of your dreams. And just a reminder to you, if you want to schedule a one-on-one Strata-G session with me, go to a2bforme.info/15 with Don, and be sure and check us out on YouTube if you want to check some of the other sessions. Some of these are in some various places. Some of them are back in some of our Wham Wednesdays and Finish Strong Fridays, and also you can go up and grab the Thrive Thursdays that we have on YouTube or Anchor FM. You can always listen to us on Anchor FM, and some of you might want to watch it and listen to it and kind of get it from both sides. And then, of course, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're out there almost every day of every week giving you some knowledge and just a little pep talk and a few other things. So there's that for you. I'm going to hop back in here real quick and say goodbye to you if I can get my mouse to work. There it is, as always. So you can see what I look like, obviously, with the hat, because I wear the hat most days just because of the glare. I don't want to get sued for people saying, oh my goodness, my eyesight's going bad from the glare on top of your head. So I wear a ball cap for you guys, but and that's me what I look like without it. So that's an old picture some of you heard me talk about before when I was really one one of my great days in Paris. I was actually in front of the Eiffel Tower. You can't see it. You can't see my lovely wife to the left of me, but there we are. All right, well, enough about that. Have a great week. We've gone a little bit long, about 38, 39 minutes, but you can also always go back and do this in bite-sized pieces. Just go back and scroll through and hit the parts that you need to hit. But have a great rest of the day, a great week, a great month. Keep moving in the direction of your dreams, and we will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.